think bullying is just it's such a huge problem that I think so many people just overlook, because it's kind of always been there, and it's always been kind of like an underlying thing that it's almost like, no, the bullies aren't going to say that there's bullying happening, and then so many of the people being bullied are scared to say that they're being bullied. And then, like, even in terms of schools, they don't want to say that they have a bullying problem, so that it's all kind of like a cover-up. It's just important that people talk about it, because it is a problem, and you see how it affects so many people, and it affects them a lot worse than others. And we just kind of want people to realise that it still happens so much, and you know, it is a problem, and you have to talk about it and kind of work out a way to fix it.
There's always, you know, there's always little bits of it that you see and stuff. You felt like when you was at school or whatever that you maybe should have done something about it then even, and said something about it or whatever. But it can be quite difficult, you know, because you're in your social groups and people are friends with certain people, and it is quite like upsetting to see. It's not, you know, something you can pinpoint as well, because it is, you know, online, and people do stuff like that where they say stuff, you know, through cyberbullying, and yeah, it's not as direct, and it's a bit weird. And how do you go about dealing with that, and you know, who do you speak to about that? So a few times, like, a few kids would actually speak up and say, like, that's not on, like, you know, you shouldn't do that, and that was always nice to see, because it's cool that somebody would be, you know, brave and like speak out and say something, because like, it does take a lot to do that. Obviously, when it comes to bullying and stuff like that, it's quite an important issue that we wanted to obviously be involved with, because we feel like that, you know, it's quite fresh and we know a bit about it because we've just come out of school ourselves. We just wanted to be involved with something that was good and help some people out that, you know, maybe have a bit of confusion of how to deal with bullying or how to, you know, speak to people about it.
I think it's just, you know, being kids, you know, and it's like to be at school, and there's, you know, sometimes there's mean kids at school and whatnot. Like, when you play sport, there's often like a certain level of like banter where, you know, you kind of have fun with each other, but you can't ever let that go too far, sort of thing, because sometimes it is upsetting. I mean, I wasn't actually a very good goalkeeper when I was at school. I think it's just one of them things, really, that, you know, we've all experienced bullying and been around bullying as kids, so it's something we wanted to help out with. Well, I think in any situation it's important to be truthful, so I mean that one's quite easy, but being brave, I mean sometimes, you know, you just need to have the courage to, you know, pluck up to say something, like even if it's not you who's being bullied, or, you know, even if it is you who's being bullied, just, you know, got to have the courage to say something, and if you don't think something's right, you got to talk about it.
See, you know, there was always the couple of people that always got a hard time, and no one ever kind of did anything about it. Like, everyone just kind of sat back and kept on doing it, and the people obviously said they were going to sort it out and talk to someone, but they never did, and, you know, they just went through 5 horrible years of school. It helps coming from us, because we're still young. Like, it's good, like, coming from teenagers, you know, that it's good for young people to hear that. We've all been in school, and we all see what goes on inside schools in terms of bullying. Everyone's been bullied at some stage. Like, it's never really been sorted out properly, and programs like this help to spread the word about what's going on and what needs to be done. And I think it was a very important one for us to be involved in.
I think, in a way, bullying might be easier with the likes of social networking. You will get some kids who might get bullied who are a bit more feisty and brave, and, you know, they can stand up for themselves, whereas it's other people who are quite timid and are less confident. I think in that instance, you know, it'd be good for anyone to, you know, if anyone notices any kind of bullying, that they help someone else out, you know. Every now and then there can be one individual that you might see on Twitter who's just being really awful to like a group of people. And I think these people just go on power trips and just want to have some kind of level of importance. And you know, you can use it in a positive manner to try and confront those bullies, I suppose, because it's so public. Often, you know, people see that one person is being really awful to maybe a group of people, and then other people kind of have their say.